Hi everyone. Hi Paul. Hope you and Glenda are okay. Here I am at the scene of the murder of my son. I come here now and again to light a candle, put things on the tree. This cemetery closes at 4 p.m, so I was already in here earlier doing this. Can't film in there now because they've closed it. Hi Ricky, hi Ronnie, hi everyone for joining me. Now, as many of you know, and many of you over, it'd be 6 years January watching my videos and supporting the boys that I'm really, really grateful for. I thank you all for that. Now, one thing they did that night was misdirect everyone. And misdirection is their heart of their tricks. That's what they do all the time. Misdirect people so they don't see what the truth is. For example, I don't know if you can see because it's dark now. Let me see if I can show you. That being a school bus stop. So as you can see there, it's a school bus stop. So that will tell you in itself, our boys were never standing at that bus stop. They was walking this way, on their way to a party. I'll walk backwards. They was walking this way, on their way to a 16th birthday party. And just around the corner there is goals, where if they'd have got there, they would have been at a place of safety. But what did they do? They got murdered here, and then everyone in this country, including me, my family, the community and their friends, got lied to about what happened that night at this scene. How many families this has happened to, I couldn't tell you. How many lies have been told? Now, we bring up children, don't we, to tell the truth. That's what we do. That's the right thing to do. Tell us the truth, and then we can deal with any issue as long as you tell us the truth. If you lie, then we're never going to believe you, and we can't deal with that issue. But the police would have been brought up the same by their mothers and fathers. Don't lie. And then they join an institution that gets them to lie. And not just in our case, not just in our three boys. There's enough cover-ups in this country to blanket the whole of the UK. But they join that institution, and then they are taught to lie, and they do it. They follow orders that are morally wrong, and they don't question those orders, and they're allowed to question those orders, but they don't. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that some of the frontline police that were here that night don't know the full story to our boys' case, because they would have only been told so much by whoever was in charge. I know who was in charge, but whoever was in charge that night at this scene. But I also know that there are frontline police who were here that night who do know the truth. One in particular who was here that night, the next day at Uxbridge Police Station, when a witness went there to give a statement, because they couldn't do it that night because they was traumatised by what they'd seen. When he went to give a statement at the police station, it was one of the same officers who was here that night. And when he informed him what he'd seen and how he knew that two of the boys were still alive, The copper told him he couldn't say that. They used to say they was all dead already, which they weren't. 2 were still alive. Even though we was told on the Monday that all died instantly, that was another lie. How they think they can play God, judge and jury, I'll never know. As I've said before, there's so many things going on in the country that is affecting many people at the moment. Many people. And it isn't right. Many people fear on a daily basis with all the things that are going on. One thing I believe is that we're the only generation that can unite, and are brave enough to stand up. That's what we was taught. We was taught, get up, stand up, defend yourself, stick up for yourself, sticks and stones. So if anyone calls you names, and believe me, over the last 5.5 years I've been called many by the trolls, the agitators, the state agents. I've been lied about, called so many names. It means nothing to me and doesn't affect me, because we're brought up sticks and stones. I can shrug it off because those people mean nothing to me. What are kids taught these days? What are kids taught? To fear labels, to be ashamed of who they are, don't defend themselves. That's what they're taught. That's the next generation down. And if you don't stand for children, you stand for nothing. Hi Shane, hi Tina. You stand for nothing. You know, every 2 to 3 weeks I try and do a video for you, so you all know that I'm still here, still fighting. I'm hoping to do another event for the boys, you know, in the name of my son. About February time, I'm hoping to do another event, because the only way to prove what happened that night on this road is to get into court, a private prosecution. It's the only way. So that's what I'm fighting for, because I have so much evidence to show what the police did. Now, I saw a comment the other day and someone said, whatever the police give the CPS is what the CPS will run with, and then it's what the court will run with. So the police can make up whatever fake narrative they want to create an event that didn't happen, exactly what they did at this scene. But do I just blame the police for that? Do I just blame the police? Because I know how it works. I have the court bundle for the appeal, when it went to appeal, which we knew it was going to. It wasn't a shock. I have the court bundle to that, which is full of fake evidence, and that evidence came from the police. However, when my MP at the time, Minister for Policing, wrote a letter to the Attorney General with 4 points for a retrial, because he saw those 4 points, he saw the real evidence, so he wrote that letter. That letter got ignored by the Attorney General. So that's not down to the police, that's down to the Attorney General, who just completely ignored it. And then a fake story was put in about Nick Hurd 30 days later, and they did that because they didn't want people realising, oh my God, here's an MP who actually did something. So they then tried to destroy him by putting a fake story about him in the media. Then we've got the coroner. Look him up. Shinye Inyama, and I will name him. Shinye Inyama, the coroner, corrupt coroner. Our boys was going to have an inquest. The Pret-a-Manger coroner was going to write to us with a date for the inquest. That corrupt coroner, Shinye Inyama, comes in off suspension, takes our boys' file and writes to us and says we're not having an inquest. Now, plenty of times I've been in touch with that coroner. I've asked him to meet me, and I said to him I will show him part of the evidence so that our boys can have an inquest that under their own legal system they're entitled to, because all three suffered a violent death. A violent death. And do you know what he says? He says, unless you give the evidence to the police first and let them scrutinise it, I'm not having a meeting. Now he knows we're saying the police covered it up, but he is saying he won't have a meeting with me unless I will go to the police first and show them the evidence. Now come on, people. It's all so corrupt, and they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about my offspring. They don't give a damn about your offspring, and they don't even follow their own policies and procedures in this legal system. Now that night, what happened here affected so many people in different ways. The young girl whose 16th birthday party it was that night, every year at her birthday time, this is what she has to remember. The children that saw the condition and state of what our boys were in, and I wouldn't like to tell you the condition of our three boys. I've never done that, and I wouldn't like to do that, so you don't have that thought in your mind, because it's horrific. And their friends that were at that party and the friends that were at the scene came running down and saw our boys, their friends, in that condition. And there is still children having counselling now. There is still children that can't talk about what happened here. So many people say to me, how do these people go home at night, look their offspring in their faces, and then go to bed and sleep soundly, knowing what they did to three young boys here? And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Evil has no shame, and that's what they are. Another thing we're taught growing up, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Why do you think they try and drum that into you? What they are trying to drum into you is no matter what happens to you, you're meant to forgive. You're meant to forgive. Now, I have faith, which is different to religion. It's different. And I can tell you, I don't forgive. If you want answers to many things, you look at nature. Yeah? They took away an eye for an eye. They tell your little ones in school, if someone hits you, don't defend yourself. And if the child does defend themselves, they get in trouble just like the one who hit them. It's not the right way. The answer is in nature, isn't it? So anyway, I'm going to leave you now. It's very cold here, just like the many hearts were that dealt with my son's case. Cold hearts.